What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the drone show. I got another one for you today with that HAP40 Gyuto that we looked at the other day on Wednesday. I want to go ahead and give it a little bit of its own video here and just kind of go through a sharpening with it. I mean, the thing came razor sharp, but I want to put my own edge on it, right? The guy that sharpens it, Sukanara, I believe is his name. I have to look that up to be sure. He's actually a well-renowned sharpener, from what I understand. I don't know a lot about it, but I will get some more information. He's at least well known in the circles amongst the smiths in Japan. So wanted to go ahead and get this thing checked out. Before we get started, though, wanted to go ahead and remind you guys that we are going to announce the next giveaway winner on Wednesday for the Whetstone Fukami. Just make sure that you comment on any video from almost 2 weeks ago Wednesday until the one on Wednesday. So this is the last one you can comment on. And make sure you're a subscriber to the channel, and that will get you entered into the giveaway. We're going to do some other cool stuff. I got some good news. The Zarlik Gen 3, it's the guided sharpener system or fixed angle sharpening system, however you want to say it. On our 1,000 subscriber giveaway, I will be giving one of those away. I got some awesome news. I've been talking to the manufacturer. They're going to help me out with that. They also sent me one to review for the channel. So for those of you that are interested in fixed angle systems that take like these kinds of stones here, I'll show you in the GoPro. Those little 1x6s, you know, on the little backing plates there. So if you're interested in that kind of a system, I will be doing that. It should arrive tomorrow. I don't know for sure. If it's not tomorrow, it'll be here Tuesday. So maybe Wednesday's video will be that. But we will be giving one of those away, as well as a knife for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. We're closing in on that fast, guys. Speaking of these kinds of stones, I got those DMDs in, and I appreciate that DMD. Thank you, guys. These are the resin bonded ones. This is the 6,000. So it goes 6,000, 12,000. And they have a decent amount of material on them. The only one that doesn't, and I don't know if it's by design or whatever, is the 1,000. But that's fine. I mean, these resin bonded plates, they're going to last you a very good amount of time. So, but the others, as you can see, they're quite thick. Thick boy. So to give you a little bit of information about these, just real quick, I'm not going to do a video on these today, obviously. So they are resin bonded diamond plates, just like any other resin bonded diamond plate, like other DMD products, right? These are true to grit. So, you know, we had the discussion about the other DMD plates, the full size ones that look like this, right? You know, the ones that you get on AliExpress for like 30, 40 bucks, whatever it is. These are what they say they are. I've looked at them under the microscope. They look legit. And talking with the guys at DMD, or the guy at DMD, I can also tell you, again, it's what it's supposed to be. Now, here's what a lot of people don't know. The WorkSharp system just released resin bonded diamond stones for the WorkSharp unit. It's DMD that made those for them. That's the OEM. That was one of the things I was telling you guys that they told me they're doing. And if you want to get their true to grit, actual realized stones that are properly rated, to get those from WorkSharp. Because the other ones, like we talked about before, right? So you can see that video if you want more information on that. But these are the real deal. The reason these exist is these are visual rejects, not functional rejects, visual rejects from the WorkSharp run. So these are actually were meant to go to WorkSharp, but for one reason or another, maybe like that 1,000, for example, is thinner, etc. They ended up being able to be bought on Amazon. So that's kind of a cool little thing to understand. But without further ado, let's go ahead and give you guys a better look at this here HAP40. This little bad boy here. I might seem a little off today, guys. I'm doing a video to kind of keep my mind off of some things. My mom is in the ICU. She's having surgery, so just kind of waiting on some results. It's actually the hospital now, so let me pause the video. All right, so that was the hospital. It's interesting they called right in the middle of me saying that. It's like I've got some kind of special skill. I'm imagining $1 million, right? But anyway, got to keep some humor going, keep me going. So my mom is out of surgery. That's what they were just calling to tell me. And that there's nothing, of course, that I can do at the moment. We just got to kind of let her heal and stuff, what was going on. So we're going to make some videos and show you guys this beautiful knife. So, but wanted to let you know in case things seem off, that's why. So here is the HAP40, what do they call it? High-speed tool steel Gyuto. Beautiful, beautiful gray and black pack of wood. So the handle and the ferrule are both pack of wood. One's black, one's gray. Obviously it's dyed or whatever. You can see what looks like a hamon there. That's your temper line. Just a beautiful, beautiful knife. One of the things I'm going to do, and like I said, I want to put my own edge on it, right? And this thing it's mega sharp, but I'm going to make it sharper. So I'm going to use this King Neo 800 that we've used before. It's for stainless steel. I want to see how well this cuts HAP40. HAP40 is a harder steel to sharpen. It's not as hard as some because it kind of had that in mind when they made it, but it is still harder than like Aogami 2, for example, or Shirogami. It is a 67 to 68 HRC is what this one is, which is about what HAP40 falls into. It retains an edge for a very, very long time. Mostly you would want to sharpen these kind of with diamonds, whether that be plated diamond stones or resin bonded like the NSK. But I wanted to give the old King Neo a little shot here and just see what it could do. So let's go ahead and give her a shot. I'm also going to do a test with tomatoes. I'm going to slice one kind of free-handed, you know, without like holding it, you know, and slicing it like I would, and just see if I can get it to catch, and we'll do that. So let's give her a shot. But yeah, what a beautiful knife, I gotta say. Now, whenever I did get it, like I said, it was super duper sharp, but it was not as sharp as I would have preferred. You know, I'm thinking that's going to come out and be an absolute laser beam razor, cut a paper towel. It was not. So I found that to be quite interesting, but we're going to get it to that point. Let's go ahead and try and follow the factory edge here. It's a nice tiny little bevel. So let's go ahead and get started. Hope you guys have had a great weekend. I'm going to go up and then see if I can feel the skate. Interesting. Give a couple little... Just do a few here. Make sure that... Good Lord, you're kidding me. I've already put a burr on with this King Neo. There's no way. Okay. No, I did not. There is a burr. I feel it. Let me see. This might just be the way this edge is and where it has the micro bevel. That's an interesting point. So that's something to think of whenever we are sharpening, is that sometimes these lips and edges, depending on how they're micro burred or micro beveled, you may mistake them for a burr. That's something good to actually maybe do a video on, but it seems like that was a good angle. It felt like the factory angle, but you, especially on a really nice new knife, you want to make sure, right? Huh. Love this King. I'm gonna fix that noise, don't worry. What is making my noise, open jaw? Something is. No, it's not. Okay, good deal. All right, so as usual, right, you know, the feel, which we've already talked about this stone before, super smooth. As you heard it, it was super quiet. Aside of my little banging and clanging up there. That's interesting. I see what it is. See what it is now. I'm gonna move this. This is my little measuring beaker for whenever I make things. So, now that my aggressive hands are no longer doing that, feeling where that micro bevel was, where I told you, I am indeed now feeling a burr. There's not one up top. I do have it back here and all the way up until the tip. So the tip is always a problem area for me. It always has been. And that just depends on, like, my focus depends on what I'm doing. And in this case, I'm trying to be really, really cautious because I want to maintain this nice small bevel. And I just didn't want to mess anything up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Just hit it again. And then we'll do the whole thing. There we go. Man, I'm going to tell you, this King Neo is a beast. This is HAP40 at, like I said, 67, 68 HRC. This stuff, I mean, unless I'm just completely mistaken about all HAP40, this Neo is making very light work. And let's be honest, this is what this Neo was designed for. It's designed for stainless steels that are harder, right? So it's doing its job. It's got that nice little swoop, that Gyuto swoop. I said it that way on purpose, but use a little bit more in the back here. And I'm going to do some long strokes too. I'm not doing very many, as you guys can see, and that's because I'm wanting to control this. I'm wanting this to be very, like, precise. I don't want anything to get away from me. I don't want to get deep into a sharpening and then all of a sudden realize, oh man, I screwed up a section or whatever. This is a very nice knife. This is how I would do a knife for a customer, right? Unless it was just a garbage knife, I would 100% take my time, make certain that I don't screw up any spots or sections or any of that stuff. You just, well, because you don't want to disappoint anybody. And I don't want to disappoint myself here, so. Okay, I'm going to do a couple long strokes just because. Anyway, so I hope you guys' weekend, as I was saying earlier before everything else, I hope it's all good. As we know, mine has not turned out to be exactly the weekend I thought. That tip's stubborn. But I'm telling you, this factory grind, it was beautiful. You know, some of these knives, whether they be high-end or they be, you know, medium or whatever, when you get into the tip region, they always seem neglected. This thing was beautifully perfect, like a work of art. I mean, the whole knife's kind of like a work of art, right? So I've got a good enough burr, and I'm going to double check that with my Carlisle microscope here. And we're going to make certain that it looks good all the way to the back, because the back feels like it's fighting me. And I do see, it's always a good thing to have something like this to be able to check this, because the back does seem as if, at least on this side, that there was not even a bevel put in. So if I look at it based on the upper portion, There's clearly a bevel, but if I go all the way to the back, yeah, it's almost as if there's a non-existent bevel, which that can happen depending on how you're grinding it. I'm assuming, obviously, just like everything else, they're doing these on a powered wheel. And the tip kind of looks the same. So this explains to me that it's not my technique or anything that I'm doing wrong with both the tip or the heel. It has to do with the knife's initial grinds. So the one way to do that is take this down to a lower grit and correct these two spots, make it even, and then come back to this, or spend about 6.5 days on this stone alone grinding those spots. I am going to hit them a couple more times real quick down here at the base and the tip. I don't think I'm going to get much of anywhere. I'm going to put some firm pressure though, and I'm going to guide it slow. But what I will do is I'm going to put it on the 220, probably. Actually, I don't have to. Wow, I was talking out my rear end apparently. That pressure right there was enough. That is insane. We do the same here. And it's not really significant pressure. Going slow, making sure I don't speed this up. Will all be, I'm just going to shut my mouth then. Let the stone do the talk. I think it has everything to do with this King Neo. It's like, shut up, boy. You just sharpen. I'll do the rest. Massive burr. I say massive. It's a clean, small burr, but it's massive as far as how it feels. So yeah, we're going to move on to the other side. Going to break on through, right? But yeah, normally you just go to like a 220, 120, depending on what you got. I could use that Rock Road 120 that I have over there, you know, the Nanoa. But apparently I don't need to. Let's just see. All right. Side number 2. A little bit of pressure on this one because it is that back side, right? And really, if I was equating my pressure to a term, I would say medium. Man, like that. I know I folded the burr over, but still, I can see it did not exist. It was kind of a dull glint, where the rest of the bevel kind of was shining. You can see its actual reflection. And then it kind of stopped off right about here. And it was kind of a dull glint, but I can actually see an actual bevel I just cut with this King Neo. So if that is a testament to the King Neo, if that isn't, I don't know what is. $27 or whatever for this stone. It's chewing up HAP40. What a beautiful knife. The only thing I'm worried about with this knife is if I get, you know, into the thinning realm when I have to thin it, because that temper line is so beautiful. I mean, I don't want to have to. Maybe this will just sit in the case, right? Get used occasionally. Tip. A little bit more pressure. I'm gonna look at it now. Wipe her down. Give her a little glimpse. Bevel looks fine. I'm gonna need to do some more pressure here. This one looks good though, in the far back. We have folded the burr over successfully, and we have not extended the factory bevel. So it looks 100% on point, as it did whenever it came to me. That's very important to me. It doesn't matter. You can increase your bevel all you want, but I prefer it to stay nice and tiny. Ooh, man. I put some pressure on it and slipped. I hope I didn't scratch anything. Yeah, the same thing was up here on the tip, but it's all good. It's got the tiniest little bevel there. Man, I'm gonna buy me another one of these, and I'm gonna sit on it just to have a spare. It's super lightweight. Alpha Rebo, he bought one. He loves his too. At least that's what he said anyway. All right, I'm gonna do some long strokes. Not very many, just a few. Okay, let's take a look. Gosh. I love the sound of this stone. It's chalky, like my favorite sound, like the other kings, but it's like, it's got that chalky kind of, chalky smooth. That's going to be a new term. I'm going to call him chalky smooth. By the way, big shout out to the Betrayer on Reddit. He's going to help me start editing some videos. So for a long time, I've been doing this kind of like, just kind of quick and dirty, right? But I'm going to start properly using, Premiere Pro, and he's going to help me do some editing. And that's going to help me also to focus a little bit more on some content, and not just trying to knock something out real quick and then spend some time editing. I don't mind doing it, but it gets a little monotonous, and it makes the actual content suffer some, because then I got to think about how I'm going to edit it. And I love to edit, but if I got situations going on like I've got going on today or with some work, I start kind of looking at it like, oh, I just need to pump a video out real quick, and then spend a little bit of time editing it and not doing like decent work. And then it looks like crap to you guys, so I'd rather give you guys a good product and a good review and something fun to watch as opposed to some quick garbage. And I still need to upload that video over the Razor. I wasn't satisfied with that edit, so I'm finishing an edit on the Razor video, and I'm going to upload it too. I need to send that Razor back to Elmdahl Designs. Remember, check those guys out on Etsy. And visit my Etsy store and buy some wax. I do need to list some stones. Oh man, I counted my stones yesterday just because I was like, I need to see how many stones I have to see how many I really want to keep and how many I want to list, right? Because I told you guys I was going to list some of my stones on my Etsy store. I don't know if it just happened to luck out, and I didn't count some of the ones in these drawers, which are smaller stones, kind of like these guys, little agate stone or whatever, or these cut stones. I didn't count those, and I didn't count, those diamond plates that are like about 4 inches long, but they're still roughly about 2-3 inches wide, well, 3 inches wide probably. I didn't count those either. I counted 100 stones exactly. Man, I've got a problem. All right, I'm going to give this some quick reduced pressure strokes. This is nice and sealed up back here, by the way. A lot of times you got to worry about that with some of the knives. This thing is like super duper well done. It's a Kohetsu. You can get them on Chef Knives to Go. I learned a little history on them. So these are called Seki City knives or Seki process. I don't know. Sakai. I got information the other day about how to say the vowels and stuff for Japanese words, and I need to study that more. so I don't look stupid. But back to the knife and what that means. These knives are actually made amongst several, the Kohetsus are amongst several different smiths. So you got one smith that does one part, another smith that does another part, etc., etc. Which is why the Sukanara, I think is his name. Again, I'm butchering it. I'll find it and post it. That's why he sharpened this. So it just goes to different, like I said, smithies. And it really kind of reduces the cost, but you still get a quality hand-attended, handmade product. So this knife, I'm going to guarantee you, if it was made by a single manufacturer, you know, high-end manufacturer, this thing would be $400 or $500, and that's easy, right? Made this way, it was $220, $240, whatever. So I mean, that's not terrible. I also need to get rid of some knives. So if you guys want some knives, I'm going to put those up for sure. I've got way too many. I had to mount another magnetic, like hanging block or whatever, wall-mounted block, so that I could hang some more knives and get them like out of their boxes and stuff. I've got excess things, guys, and I need your help. I need your help offloading them. And apparently I'm going to need to get a little fund going to help my parents, so I'm definitely going to have to sell some stuff. My dad's got dementia. It's kind of just starting, so my mom's been taking care of him, but now she's just had her entire colon removed, and she's not in good shape. She had a toxic episode. Her colon died and was leaking toxic stuff into her system. So anyway, enough of the Debbie Downer stuff. Let's just have some fun cutting stuff. All right, man, we are rocking and rolling. This thing is sharp. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna listen. Barely catching that bad boy. All right, a little poosh. I haven't even stropped it yet, and I need to, because yeah, right there was a catch. You don't really need to strop. I could do that more on the stone, I think. I am going to strop though. So let me go ahead, grab my little paddle. Is my microphone even working? Could you imagine how bad that would? Okay, good. It wouldn't be the first time, would it, guys? All right, we're going to do a couple quick strokes back here. How many of you guys watch Outdoors 55? I like watching him. He made a good point about stropping and putting too much pressure on a strop. How it rolls over the apex a little bit, you know? And he's not wrong. I think it depends, you know, on the situation, the knife and the steel, etc. Obviously in your pressure, but I always try to lightly strop. And let's just be honest. You could technically get away without stropping if your stone technique was superb. I don't always follow through with the way that I always do the stone stuff. Normally what I would do in a lot of methods, depending on the knife, and maybe not this one, maybe a different one, is I would sharpen it and then do those reduced pressure strokes and then edge leading, but I would do a lot more of them. Essentially, it's the same thing you're doing on a strop, is you're folding that burr back and forth, letting it pop off naturally. All right, this should be good. Sitting here chawing your ear off. You're like, get to the daggum point, son. All right, so let's grab that piece of paper. Okay, let's see if she catches now. Same spot. Oh, Oh, that was me. Good Lord. Oh shoot, that wanted to kind of just fold itself over and just do, you know, one of those. Good Lord. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut some tomatoes with it, but it's just going to be an end shot. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to take my GoPro to my cutting board and get that for you guys. But remember, join the giveaway. We're doing that on Wednesday for an all-stone Fukami. This one I think is an 8,000 grit is one of the ones I'm going to give away. I think if it's not an 8,000, it's a 5,000, I believe. Make sure that you're tuned in. Make sure you're commenting and subscribe to the channel. You could be the winner. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate the support. I couldn't do any of this without you. Sorry for the weirdness. Got a lot on my mind, but you guys make it easier. I love y'all, and I'll see you Wednesday. I got another surprise Wednesday, so be sure to tune in.